Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode number 52 of Beyond the Court. This wonderful Sunday night. It was quick time we had to get this going. We had to get this episode up and running. Contacted my buddy Leo, and he said, absolutely. You know, when it comes to racquetball, Leo's going to be there. We're going to bring him in a moment. But first, I just wanted to real quick send well wishes, best wishes to dear friend Jerry Price, GP232, in the hospital recovering from back surgery. For those of you that don't know Jerry Price, a great professional racquetball player and one of the funniest human beings of all time. Also married Veronica and I. He's a minister, so he did. And that was really special and awesome. GP, we love you. We hope you're doing okay. Ellie, hope you're feeling better. Ellie got the vid. If that's a HIPAA law, well, that sucks. But with that, let's welcome in my co-host, our racquetball friend, Leo Vasquez. What's up, Leo?
Sudsy, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. You know, the Yankees are dominating, kicking ass. The British Open, really just called the Open now, is awesome this weekend. And, of course, you know, the World Games, the 3-wall ball out in Huntington Beach. A lot going on, Leo.
Lots and lots going on. You know, when you had asked me, you know, what I was doing, for this time slot, I was like, absolutely. There's so much racquetball going on. So, I know we got a couple guests. We got a surprise guest, and I'm super excited tonight. So what's on the plate?
That's right. Well, you know what? That's a good question. So we're going to have the gold medalist from the World Games, Andres Acuña, who is just blazing. He's just doing a lot, Andres, right now. And then not only that, so he goes and wins the World Games in Birmingham, and we'll talk to him about it and let him talk about it. But then he goes out to Huntington Beach and wins the singles out there. So he's doing something right out in Costa Rica.
I agree. I think he's, right now he's the hottest player in racquetball. You know, went to one of the biggest stages, I think, in racquetball with the World Games. I mean, we'll get, like you said, we'll get to that in a second, but and then to immediately turn around and play in the World Games and then go to outdoor and play in the outdoor nationals. Those outdoor guys, they pride themselves on their home courts. And I'm sure, I wouldn't say they weren't happy to see us do well there, but they like it. I like the rivalry. I like those outdoor guys talking a little smack to the indoor guys. So we'll see what Andreas has to say about that.
I listen, I love it. But I do love when our indoor guys win. I got to be honest. So Andres, thank you. We'll see you in a second. And then of course, Leo, we're going to talk about it, man. It needs to be discussed. The amount of messages and texts and emails that I've been getting, and I know you've been getting, as we feel like some sort of a responsibility to communicate to the racquetball world, which tells me that maybe the powers to be or at be, whatever the saying is, are they doing enough? The U.S. Open, there's so much question about it. I understand the different roadblocks maybe, or some obstacles that have come up, whether it be COVID now 2 years ago, or planning for national events, this or that, having a 3-person staff. We're not here tonight to rip on USA Racquetball, but what I do want to do is have an honest and open discussion about the U.S. Open. You okay with that?
Everybody has an opinion about the U.S. Open. We all have our own expectations. Mine can be different from yours. Ours could be different from the people that are already in the chat. Some people said that maybe our mics are a little low. So let me know whose that is. Is it mine? Is it Sudsy's? Is it the whole show? Because ultimately, Suds, that's what's important. You and I can sit here and we can talk about whatever we want to talk about, but it's the people that show up to spend the money. Look, I remember being part of the U.S. Open staff, and we had a staff meeting. It was usually Monday night, Tuesday night before the U.S. Open, and Doug Gannon would round up all the department heads, all the people, all the greeters, all the media, the check-in people, and you had to show up, and Doug reminded you of who was the most important person at the tournament, and even gave you some suggestions on, ask the guy, how was your match? How did it go? How did you play? Because everybody goes down there and they spend a lot of time and they spend a lot of money. So, it's really what the fans are about. The U.S. Open, Doug has made that a total fan experience. When he brought the doubles in, that took it to another level. But it was already the ultimate experience. It was the biggest tournament, all the countries. I was part of the social media team. It was easy for us to hype up the U.S. Open. People used to ask me all the time, why do you always wear a tie? And, just this last year, I felt kind of cool because Doug gave me his jacket.
I remember that. That meant a lot to you. I remember looking you in the eyes, man. You got a little watery eyed. I saw that.
It did. But what it meant to me was it's the U.S. Open. Okay. That's why I wore a shirt and a tie and slacks and look nice every day. It's the U.S. Open. So, I took it very serious. I know you do too. The players do, the fans do. So yeah, it's going to change. We all knew it was going to change.
Let's save that. Let's talk about that. We'll get back to that, but first we're gonna bring in our guest. The cool thing is, for everybody, stay here, because we do have videos of the actual venues. I have a walkthrough of both facilities that are being used that will hopefully answer some questions. We see a bunch of it online running around. So stay here. After we get through with our guests, Leo and I are going to get heavy into the U.S. Open. We're going to talk about it. We're going to show you the actual facilities being used in a couple of videos, a couple of photos. So then you have some info, that's what it's all about. So don't move. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come right back with the gold medalist from the World Games, Andres Acuña, and then he went out and goes to Huntington and kicks ass. Hey, thanks for the indoor, guys. I appreciate that. We'll be right back. Don't move. We'll be back with Acuña. There he is. Andres, welcome to Beyond the Court once again.
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.
you go to Birmingham, and I got to tell you, Leo, we're watching you play, Andres. You're playing great. You're training. Everybody sees you're training online, how hard you train, how hard you. But the first word that popped into my head when I saw that you won the gold medal, and Veronica and I, we were watching it, Leo. I said that's historic. So I have the first question for you, Andres. How historic was it? I mean, you're a national hero in Costa Rica. I believe it's the first gold medal ever in the World Games. Tell us about it. Tell us. You go. Your floor, man.
It is very special. Actually, it is the first for all the history of the World Games for Costa Rica. So we bronze, silver, or gold, and this is the first one, and it is of gold. And it is very hard to get like world champions, and it have just got, I think, two medals from the same swimmer. That was like 30 years 30 years from now. Someone gets something like this, it is very special. So I am very happy. I'm very grateful that I got. So it like that it is.
Wait, Andres, are they paid for you in Costa Rica?
I don't know. I don't like too much that stuff. I am not the kind of enjoys like all the attention and that. I'm very happy with just people and text me, and that's more than enough for me, because I really appreciate when people really win. So I don't know what's gonna happen.
Leo?
Oh yeah, Andreas. First of all, congratulations. I got a lot of questions for you. All right, so
Let's go.
listen, I tried to do a little homework. I do obviously, I follow you just like most fans do. This was your third straight IRF final. I don't know if you remember, but I'll try to help you a little bit. In 2013, you made your first final. That was, if I'm not mistaken, that was against Pedro Sandoval at the Central American Games in Costa Rica there. And didn't get the result that you were looking for. Then in 2021, you played against Alex at the World Championships in Guatemala. That was an IRF final, and still didn't get the result you were looking for. And then in 2022 against Conrado at the Pan Am Championships in Bolivia, you made the finals there, and you didn't get the result you were looking for. So now, how does it feel? You make another final, and now you finally get what you were looking for in that gold medal. How does that feel after those tries?
Just a quick update on that. Also, as a junior, I lost 3 times the finals of the World Championships. I lost once on doubles 11-10, actually, to Conrado also, and I also lost one Pan American final in juniors in tiebreaker. It was very, very, it is very special, because it means it was a time when I finished as a junior that I team, and I wasn't getting any results. It was like from 2017 that in all tournaments I was in there, and I just lose 16. So I needed to make a decision at that moment, and it was losing, or I will really try to get results also in the it takes a lot of work. And I remember during the Summer Olympics, I was watching, and I get really, really motivated for that, and I gotta try. I'm gonna start training 2-3 times a day, every day of the week. So it was a lot of things that I made into my adjustment in my life. So I'm very happy right now, because one of my dreams were always to play a world championship final, and when I did that night, I always dream on a happy night. I made it to the finals, or I won. And it wasn't that feeling. I was really sad. I was thinking that I lost my opportunity, and that was the biggest in that moment, that I was thinking that all my childhood dream, I just know if I'm gonna have another one. So it takes me like still thinking on that, and I was really sad because I was really afraid that it is very tough in these tournaments. There are a lot of players right now that can beat you in the round of see out in groups or something. So it is very hard. So right now it's very happy, and I'm just wanna take a couple of days and just realize what.
So thinking back to, sorry, Suds, just to finish up. So believe it or not, and I'm not going to give up where it is, but there is some people that were out there just because of the live streaming. They ran over. We were only allotted so much time on the World Games Network, so we were watching it. I think we got to watch a couple of matches. I did before the two singles came on. So unfortunately, we couldn't find it over here in the U.S. I know it was streamed through Disney, through a special ESPN app, only through Latin American countries. So some people got to see it. I didn't see that. And I'll admit, I saw a bootleg copy. There were people there that were filming it on their personal Facebook account. So I got to watch the final. So I want to ask you, it's 13-all in game number 3. All right. Game number 3. You've won the first 2. All right. It's 13-all. Rodrigo was serving. He serves a drive serve, and you return the serve and you skipped it into the left corner. 14-13. He's serving. Then he hits a drive serve that was short. He hits a second serve mid lob, and you step up and you almost short hop that mid lob, and you short hop it into the front left corner for a winner. 14-all. It's 14-all now. And now you're serving. So take us back to that when you're up in that box at 14-all.
It was amazing. I mean, it is all this story. I mean, I see this in 2 moments of the match. So I'm going to go back to the 14-14. But honestly, on that final, I was thinking a lot on what, because I really study a lot my players that I was going, and I did have a game plan against Rodrigo. So I was just thinking, and the first moment that my mind started thinking on what's going on in the second game, when I was 14-9, and I start thinking, if I make 1 point set away from taking this, and that takes me a couple, and hopefully I get the rally score, because you got more chances if you have a good lead. And then the other moment they start to push a lot more. It was on the second game that all the game, the third game, 5-4, 5-5, 6-5, 6-8. It was very, very close. And in the night, I did start thinking, let's go all in. That's everything for these 6 points. 5 minutes of good racquetball can give me my feeling in this one. And I start getting more motivated, get more energy. That's like a knife of it. It is very, very careful if you lose in the third game in the beginning and you lose, because you run a lot of energy. So 9, and then I remember that it was very, very still very close. 14-14. I remember when I was gonna serve, that when I was training in Costa Rica, I did talk a lot with Sergio that there are some speeds that I should not take on the 14-14 or in a match point, and are those. And the serve that I did made at the 14-14 did work a lot on training, and when I was training, I was thinking on, okay, 14, let's do this serve. So I got my chance, and when I get back, I look him, and we both know what I was gonna do. I going to throw a bullet to the backhand straight, the straightest I can. It was over the line. It was very good serve, and he gave me the shot like 2 times, and I wasn't able to kill the shot. And then I was up front in the forehand. That when I have the ball to put it down, I realized like it is your shot. You have the opportunity, and hopefully I did kill it with a cross court up front, and that is not my favorite shot, but
It was a beautiful re-kill. You're absolutely right. What do you think was the toughest part, though, about Rodrigo for you in that match?
The toughest part about Rodrigo is that really calm, and he can kill you the ball at every moment. Your shots every time if you make the wrong shot. So it's to be very, very, very patient, because and also in that court you may lose the because it is really difficult to see the ball. So but it is harder to defend on that. I was thinking on, okay, it's hard to me to attack, but it is harder. So that give me a lot of confidence, and he's an awesome player. I mean, I have a lot of he has won all the international tournaments, and I'm very, very happy to.
How much court time before you played at the World Games on that portable court? How much court time had you had on that court before then?
I did lose to Rocky twice, and one game in singles to Shy. I think in 2019 I won to Shy, and those are 3 matches. And then I play one doubles and I against Jake and Jose that we did lose 11-8, 11-9 in the tiebreak. And you know, also it is very hard because the ball sounds different, and it counts a lot for me, because when I hear the ball that I'm shooting, I get more confident. So that chord doesn't sound too much. So I get used to it.
Even though you had that those previous matches on there, how hard is it to play on that court? I've played some late night amateur matches on that court, some doubles, and tell people how hard it is to play on that court.
It is the hardest court I have ever played, because when the lights like in here, so the lights are here, so you're following the ball and you have there. So I am a kind of player that attacks a lot. The ceiling ball is coming from the ceiling. You have the light just right in there. So it is very, the ball comes from the back wall. You have also the light. So it's not that difficult with the, with the glass on the sides. Make it very, very, very difficult. Also, there was a couple that I absolutely lost the ball. I was looking like to the back, and the ball was just in the other side. And also, what you are playing make it more difficult. A very special event, so that also make it very difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you've played on it, and we all know who's won a lot of matches and a lot of U.S. Opens on that court. So it's very difficult to compete. I know those track lights that you're talking about is what they're called. They're on both sides, And whether you're hitting a forehand ceiling ball or a backhand ceiling ball, when you look up to see that ball, the first thing you'll see is those lights. And then, yeah, so I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that court, because it's a level playing field. You know, every player has to play on the same court you do, but to have the different kind of conditions. So you go from playing on that amazing portable championship court to turning around and going and playing outdoor. How was that adjustment?
It was difficult. I mean, I was really, when I finished I was thinking like, I'm very tired. I already won something. I don't know, but you know, I had a commitment to play, and there was all my team. So we really enjoy a lot. And when I was playing the singles on that serve, right now I have a lot of confidence on my serve, and I think it was like you know, in outdoors you got the open serve, and one key of my game hide a lot my serve. So when I got the open serve, I got like bases or something like that, because I hide the ball and I can go outside the court. I think that was the key for this tournament also.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys. We've had some crazy storms here in Florida today. I have never had this happen since I've lived here. This isn't a Wi-Fi issue. It's the first time. I apologize. But Andres, you know, you did, yeah, you kicked ass out there. You did great. You kind of dominated. But you know, you got some family and friends watching. Marcelo Gomez just texted me, and they're with your family right now. And they're such a big part of what you do, how you do it. The man you are today. What would you like to say to them? Because, you know, they're all part of your team and part of that. You mentioned Sergio earlier. For those of you that don't know, Sergio is Andres's younger brother. And, you know, they're all watching. They love you. What would you like to say to them?
This is all because of that. A lot of success because of the support that I have in my family, the support that, because as I said before, in Costa Rica, I am a little bit special. So I got that motivation, and my family just give me a lot of support all over the years. And you know, in racquetball, it is very, very difficult to make it, making money. So it is very hard to believe in yourself when you get and pay your fees, and you go, you play, and you don't make enough. So if you got the support of your family, they trust you, and they say, and that is also one key that I always try to find something that to work on. Even I win or I lose, to think on something and get to know where can I get better, and I'm being constantly on something. So always after a tournament, it's getting support, saying, okay, you have to work a little bit more on. If you solve that, you will have more results. So trusting on that is it is all because of my family and the support, and I'm extremely the support my friends and everything. Also in Costa Rica, every day I train the physical part. I made it every day with my girlfriend, my best friend, when he's in town. So I mean, for me, that amazing. It is not like training because I'm having an awesome time. It is harder to get in the so having like the 50% of your workouts with someone is amazing. It gets fast. I mean, all day I'm waiting to train with them. Good time. We get better in everything. So that's amazing. And I will not change it for anything.
Yeah, I would say stay the course, because whatever you guys are all doing down there, it's working. I've been to Costa Rica a bunch. I love it. You know, it's Jaime Ubilla is on. He's watching. He said, of course, how dedicated you are. You deserve all this. It's really great, and I know Costa Rica is super proud. So I'm going to ask you before we let you go here, Andres, because I did tell you 10, 15 minutes. I appreciate that. And Leo, thanks for holding it down while I called Florida and said, what's up with the Wolves? Andres, what are your goals internationally right now? And I know you always want to win, but I want you to be a little more specific. What are your goals for Team Costa Rica? And what are your goals on the IRT moving into this next season? What are your real goals?
Real goal was to win a games. I mean, Pan American Games. So right now, I still have the goal to win the Pan American. Very special for my country. Also, we have just like historic in the whole history of Costa Rica. We have like 3 or 4 goals in Pan American. Special too. And talking about the tour, I have I have like 3 or 4 big goals that I have in the tour. Playing with the black ball, so getting used to the purple ball. I'm getting better at that. So I really want to win at this win an event, and I did win the Hall of Fame, so it was very awesome. I really needed that. Great event. There was Murray, Bredenbeck in there, so it was very nice. And talking about level, winning a tier 1, a Grand Slam is amazing. So I wanna do that. And talking about I wanna be in the top 8, and I think this season that will be a very difficult goal, because we have more than half season right now, but I would love to be into the top 10. And I should be moving to 11 in a couple of months, but moving into like a couple of semis or finals, so it will not be easy, because I think I heard 10 and number 9, Mario and Jake, that they had made a couple of finals, so that would not be easy to go over them. But I would really enjoying this right now, but I still have some goals to do. I said this to a lot of people that text me. I will keep the hard work. Winning is not a right now for me. It's not like to take it relax, to slow it down. I wanna keep winning. I wanna keep training, getting better, still getting better, and see how far can I go with that.
Hey, Andreas, earlier you had mentioned, after, such a tough competition at the World Games, you won your gold medal, and you were relieved for a moment, and you got to breathe, but then you said, but I had a commitment. I had a team commitment, and I had to go to Huntington Beach, and you're part of Team Dovetail. Tell us about that and what that means to you, and what are you doing with Team Dovetail?
Amazing that these two certs that I did in January. It is Mike from Dovetail, and the other one is Francisco from Zurich. They two start supporting my career and my so these guys are trying to give support to a small to keep them like going to tournaments and helping them, and making like a small family. So it is amazing. Since I have been in the teams, it makes your family. I mean, every day we talk a little. Everybody send pictures about what we're doing, what we're training, when are we gonna go. That's very, very special. And I told Mike, and I told also Francisco, of the best things that did happen for me, because that way I can play the tour, and I can to talk a lot about how to get better, what working, what is not working. So it's very special. Racquetball needs Francisco and Mike that do want the best for players and for community. If we got, I don't know, 5 more than them, like them, racquetball professional players will be playing this for a very long time, and we will have a lot of people, and it's amazing. I'm really happy to be part of those teams.
Well, Andres, I think it's time now. We're going to let you go. You got to get some rest, buddy, because I know you're going to be working hard and training real hard.
Go celebrate.
You're still out in California.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know if Andres is gonna celebrate that much. If I was with him, I'd make him get an Imperial in Costa Rica next time I see him. But hey, I know you got a long trip back home. I'm sure you're excited to get back home, see everybody.
It's okay to skip leg day, Andreas. It's okay.
Don't skip leg day.
Okay.
Don't skip. If you're gonna skip any days, don't skip leg day. All right.
He's never skipped a leg day. He can skip one. Just one.
Andres he's got the current day Ruben Gonzalez tree trunk legs. He's got tienes piernas como árboles. They're just like trees, you know.
I hear that before.
But that's what we always say. We say racquetball's leg day. Andres, listen, you're playing some of the best racquetball in the world. Enjoy this time. Enjoy this moment. Stay motivated. Yes. What I'm loving, right? What I'm hearing about it is you're relentless. You're not satisfied. Don't ever be satisfied. All right. Keep going and enjoy, man. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you very much, Satya. I really appreciate your invitation and your words very much. And thank you very much, Leo, for the following and everything about the that someone is looking at and taking notes. Thank you very much.
Congrats. Thank you for the time.
Have a great night, Andres.
Thank you. Have a great night. Bye.
So Leo, man, he's playing great. He's a good dude. He's focused. He's the best
in the world right now.
Process. You know, watch it. Pay attention. I'm listening. I'm listening as if I had to deal with him and compete with him in week in and week out. And you know what I hear? I hear a dude that's not satisfied. He wants to keep working. He wants more. And he's super dedicated, super disciplined. He's got a great family down there, great support system. And I tell you what, this is only going to help him. Marcelo Gomez, the president of Costa Rican Racquetball Federation, he texted me throughout this. And, he's definitely got the support. We know his family's going to support him. So Andres is going to be a pain to deal with for anybody out there.
Does he want to be the best in the world?
He didn't say that. That was one interesting thing. I didn't ask him. You didn't ask him. And that's a good question, So
I didn't want to get too far ahead. I mean, the guy just came off in one, 2 tournaments in a row. I mean, come on. And let's see what he does next. I forgot to ask him because I know we only get so much time. What was the next tournament for him? Obviously his goal is to win it. All right.
But I think you do it to want to be the best. He said his short-term goal is top 8 in the tour, win a Pan American gold medal. But, maybe some guys don't say it. They just want it. And I would have to believe that Andres is a guy that might skip saying it, but I'm sure he wants to be the best.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? So, all right, we're going to take a quick commercial break. Then we're going to come back with special guest. Promise he's going to be here for a couple minutes. We'll see. Take some guesses. Throw the guesses in now. We're going to do a quick commercial. We're going to have a special guest with us to discuss what he's got going on.
And, he gave it away. He said he.
And then, Leo, we're going to get to the U.S. Open chat and show some videos, all right, of the facility. So don't move. We'll be right back after a quick commercial. Let's bring him in. We all know him. Here he is, David.
We all know him. We all love him.
Bobby Horn. What is going on?
Yep, you got to turn your mic on. Can't hear you.
Can't hear you.
No audio.
We gave you all this time to be prepared.
He was in the pregame chat, and we could hear him like loud and clear.
I mean, he was hanging with us. He was talking. Maybe I'm.
Can you guys hear me now? Can
There you
hear me?
go.
Yes, sir.
We can
Cool.
hear.
I just
Every
pulled it-
time
pulled
somebody
it up.
says that, every time somebody says, "Can you hear me now, Leo?" I always follow up with greatest marketing slogan of all time, Verizon.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be one of the best.
I love
Should we
the
try
outside,
these? You
by
guys
the
can hear
way.
me better, or should we just leave this off? Can you guys hear me fine?
You're good.
Cool.
Leave it off.
Good deal. Good
I
deal.
love the
Thanks for having me.
allies.
Appreciate
I love
it.
the allies. Can you show
All right,
those
thanks, man.
again?
Appreciate it.
That's sweet.
It is
Pretty
sweet.
beautiful.
So
Hey, so Bobby, I called you. I texted you guys last second. You and Adam, of course. We find it super important and appropriate to talk about. Tell us what's going on. We want to support you, what you're doing out there in Northern Cali, and tell everybody why you're here.
yeah, appreciate you having me on. Obviously, first of all, second of all, for those of you guys who haven't seen online, Adam and I are running a full Tier 1 Pro Stop in Pleasanton, California, October 6th through 9th. It's pretty cool, pretty important for me. I watched Ellie run a Pro Stop growing up here in Stockton, which I'm home at right now, which is kind of cool to be here while I do this. But it's been something I've wanted to do. Ideally, I wanted to do it in Stockton at some point, but this is, next best thing is my current home now in Pleasanton, and beautiful club with 8 courts, and we're looking to make it a really cool event. It's pretty special for myself, and then Adam and I, obviously, those you don't know, we like to think progressively, and we have a bunch of cool ideas for this event for this year and hopefully for many more years after.
I've been to that place. That's an awesome facility. Suds, you ever been there?
I have, but Jaime Torres says a typical Bobby with his audio issues.
Yeah, honestly, we don't talk about it too much. Yeah, Jamie knows I have issues with the sound on everything, so I had headphones in, but they were dying, so I switched over to the wired ones, and naturally it doesn't work. So
The wind
yeah, the club
chimes
is
are a
beautiful.
nice touch.
Maybe Suds, you'll have to come out to the tournament. Maybe, theoretically.
Leo, what are we doing that weekend? Should we go out, do a little commentary, do some PR? Maybe, who knows?
I would love to go. We played the national championships there one year at Pleasanton.
18.
It was an amazing time. It's a beautiful facility. I did the live streaming from there. I can't say enough good things about the place. So, just follow, like Bobby said, make sure you follow them. You guys do amazing marketing and promotions, you and Adam and Erica with Mini Athletics. So it's going to be a great time. The hotel is connected. I watched, I keep up with you guys. Like Adam said, you fly in, you Uber to the hotel, and you're done. You don't rent a car there. You're going to be there the whole time. And then there's so many places around there that are within walking distance. It's a beautiful facility. There's all kinds of stuff to do inside the club. It's well laid out. It's clean. It's pretty. It's nice. I love it. So congrats on that, Bobby.
Thank you. Appreciate that. It's going to be cool. Go ahead.
Tell everybody the dates and tell everybody watching what can they do to help or to support the event.
Yeah. Well, first of all, before I get into too many of that, we have a couple sponsors that made it happen. JMB, a guy at the club, it's a company that basically is the export and business of asparagus and sweet corn. They're our main presenting sponsor. It's pretty cool that he stepped up and kind of took the main role in helping the event happen. And then Visit Tri-Valley, which is our visit bureau. They're a big reason we had nationals there in 2018, which was a special year for me personally. But also they're supporting all the events that I'm doing at the club now. Since I'm the racquetball director and I'm doing pickleball, they're kind of on board on helping out with many events. So it's going to be cool. I think we're going to be able to do a lot of stuff at my club, and not just with racquetball, with pickleball as well, which is what everybody wants to hear, right? But it's the reality of the situation, and thanks to those guys for making it happen. The dates are October 6th through 9th, the week after the U.S. Open. So we originally had it the week after that, but with discussion with the IRT and with previous experiences, it's kind of cool for some of the international players to go in and fly up into the States and play 2 for 1. So 2 tournaments for 1 trip. Back-to-back weekends as a pro playing wise is not necessarily the easiest thing on the body because there is recovery. But we're hoping to get a lot of those international guys, and they'll all be fine. They all look to play, and it's funny that you guys are talking about the U.S. Open and Doug, and I was in for this whole entire stream here. Adam and I have huge aspirations to eventually do something a little bit bigger than just a Tier 1 in our future. So it's
still can.
Cool. Yeah, exactly. So we really want to piggyback off of what he did and kind of also make it our own and do things our own way. And you guys will see over the next couple of weeks of all the cool stuff and all the cool work we put into it. It's a lot different how we're approaching this versus just sign up for a tournament and come in and play and leave. And even our stadium setup and stuff, we're going to be doing a little bit different, and how it's all ran. So you guys can go on and sign up for the tournament is the one thing you can do for us. Californians, and if you have a Californian watching right now, or you have a friend and you're in California, sign up earlier than later. Most of our entries are out-of-staters right now, so don't get left out, because we will have a cap of people we can have in the tournament. We only have 8 courts, so court time is limited. So if you're in California and you want to go to the tournament to play the amateur side, sign up ASAP. Don't delay it. I promise you'll regret it if you don't get to play. Either or, you'll get to watch. So, and yeah, we'll have a hotel block up soon. I know that's been a request of a few people. We're working with the DoubleTree, which is directly connected, to get a discount on the room rate and a block of rooms so people can reserve it. And there's a couple other hotels in the area that we'll be getting set up. It's a lot more work than I anticipated. A lot more work. A lot more. So
doesn't get easier. Hey, are you going to have the women's? Are you going to have the LPRT or any ladies amateur events or amateur events as well? Is that?
Oh, it's something I really wanted to do. Just getting the prize money together, as we all know, is a tough thing. If we're able to get the prize money, I could see us throwing it in there. But right now, again, like I said, from a young age playing, I've always kind of wanted to do what Ellie did in hosting a pro stop as a player. So I think that was first for me, to run a men's stop, but I could easily see us having LPRT someday, if not this year, next year kind of deal. And I think both of the tours together is the best product we have. It brings a lot of everybody together. I think it's really cool to have both tours at the event. And I think it's something that I really want to do in the future as well. We'll see. But we're going to have amateur divisions. We'll have opens. All the amateur division will have some age groups, singles and doubles, Friday through Sunday. And then Visit Tri-Valley is going to put a nice little theme together so that everybody knows where to go in downtown Pleasanton and Dublin. So it'll be cool.
Hey, Bobby, I want to preface my question with a comment from the chat from Dylan Pruitt that says he loves the man bun.
I wouldn't get too used to it. I'm kind of I'm starting to like it a little bit more. Don't get used to it, though, because I could be cutting it sooner than later.
Please do.
There's some stuff. I might have to cut it. My right shoulder is in shambles right now, so I might have to get some fixing it. I might have to cut my hair because it's too hard to wash it one-handed.
There's only room for one man bun in racquetball right now, and that belongs to Felipe. So we're going to let Camacho keep that one. All right.
Yes.
So let's work on that, Bobby. I'm thinking a little spikes and some color in there. I mean, we could have some fun with it.
I don't know how much I love that look. Maybe some platinum blonde. Yeah, no, I think I will get a haircut pretty soon here. I would have cut it a long time ago, but I have an idea of donating it. So I might just wait for it to get just long enough to donate and then donate the hair. So that's kind of the reason I'm kind of holding on to it. So, but
the donkeys wouldn't like that.
No, that's not happening. So, hey, Bobby, I'm going to let you go. Leo, any other questions? Bobby, we're going to definitely get you back on the show. I'll do what I can to help you guys promote that event. And obviously, Veronica, we have our event in January, the LPRT event. We know the work that goes into it. I can tell you this, though, man. It's fun. It's gratifying. You're giving back to the direct blood and lifeline of what we love, racquetball, professional racquetball.
Absolutely.
But really, I wish I had the space that you guys have, man. Leo, if I had 8 courts, I'd be flying you in. You'd be working, doing a lot of stuff, So you guys are going to do a kick-ass job. I know it. You're super creative. You're on the right path, which is, and we talk a lot, do your thing. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing or how they're doing it. You go do it. And I know you guys are. And I wish you nothing but the best of luck. I'll help you however I can. And, of course, we'll have you back on sometime soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me. And thanks, Leo. Thanks as well. And those of you at home have any questions, reach out to Adam, Mania, or myself. Our message boxes are always open for you guys to have if you have questions on what might be going on or if you just want to chat. So appreciate you guys.
We have a question already that came in from Brad. Brad wants to know if you're going to have pro sponsor doubles.
Yeah, so the goal is to have a pro-am doubles. We're working on the little details here. I have a couple phone calls early this week for obviously the hotel. We're going to try to get a pro-am doubles, and then we have a couple more sponsors that we're working with to kind of make the event an event versus just a tournament. So, but we're working on it right now, Brad, and we'll announce that as soon as we find out.
So Bobby, before we let you go ahead.
And if anybody is interested in sponsoring the tournament, reach out. That's always welcome because you guys, it takes a full army to create these things and not just one or two. So we have a lot of expenses. We're looking to bring in multiple bleachers for stadiums and stuff, so we have plenty of seating for the back. So, and a plethora of different events we want to do during it. So, if you're interested in sponsoring the tournament, you can inquire with Adam or myself. You can either go to miniathletics.com. That's the easy way to do it. Just message us there, and we'll get back to you.
Yeah, for sure. And, just because people want to know and they're curious, I mean, you don't have to share, specific number, but, we have a good audience here tonight. What if people want to know, what is it? What is this? What does a sponsorship cost? Are we talking $1,000? Are we talking $5,000? Are we talking $20,000 to run the total event? Give people some numbers to kind of consider.
Yeah, if you guys are looking to sponsor, we have a couple options. Our lowest option for actually sponsoring the event is $1,500 for the weekend. And then we're going to have some VIP seating as well, which will be cheaper than that. But that's the base level of sponsorship, and it's that and up. So if you're interested in doing that, reach out. I won't shoot the whole package here for everybody to hear, but if you're interested, please reach out. We would love to, one, get your support. Two, big thing for us is giving an ROI to the companies that work with us. We don't want it just to be money coming in. We want to really make sure that the companies are benefiting from it as well. So
yeah, absolutely. Most people don't know, I mean, there's a lot of expenses related to an event, everything from the prize purse to, I always even remind people, I've ran over 200 tournaments, and, cups aren't free, plates, napkins, food, certain help you have to pay for. It seems like the club, it seems like the expenses side has a lot more entries, than the revenue side. I mean, obviously you get your entry fees, but it takes sponsors. It takes people to help pay for lunches and dinners. I used to have people that would just say, "Hey, look, I'll just buy all the Gatorade." I was like, "Oh my God, you're a blessing." So I never had to buy Gatorade. I had people come up and say, "I'll buy all the fruit and the oranges and the bananas for you." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, you're a blessing. Thank you." So you're right. It takes a whole village of people to help contribute to make the event a success. So I hope people that are watching and listening understand that. Nobody's getting rich off making tournaments. People are hosting tournaments because they love what they do. And that's what Bobby is doing. And I wish you all the success in the world on your event.
Appreciate it. Adam and I both appreciate that. We're working our butts off to try to, like I said, make it an event. We don't want to run a tournament. We want to have an event where people want to come watch the pros, which is, the primary goal here is to put the pros on a stage. So, and for me as a pro who's played on tour for 10 years, I've seen it go the other way around, and that's no knocking the tournaments. There's not enough tournaments that showcase at a high level and make it a cool event to be at, and a cool experience for the fans. Really, that's a real big thing. Like people coming in to watch the tournament and watch the pros, music, food, good intros,
the experience,
beer, alcohol. Like as crazy as that sounds, like that's a big part of having a fun event. You don't go to any sporting event in the world that doesn't have alcohol. So bet your sweet ass that'll be at our tournament. So,
well, you know what, Leo? We might be free that week.
Yeah.
Exactly. Put it on my phone right now.
Bobby, hey, thanks again. You go do your thing. If you want to get a haircut, you can. That's fine. Just make sure you guys don't get too tired while you're doing this event. Seriously, if you're going to go out there and compete, which I know you will, and I know you think you don't get tired, and I know you don't.
Oh, well, that was old me. I get tired all the time now, and I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to play. So I have some.
Okay. All right.
I have some bad news about my shoulder. I might be out for a little bit here. So, so I might not even be playing, but we won't tire ourselves out too much. Maybe I'll start a GoFundMe to cut my hair.
Awesome.
Maybe
hey,
not.
Bobby,
yeah, exactly.
Have a good night, brother. Thank you so
Appreciate
much.
You guys.
Tell Adam hello, all right?
Yes, sir. Talk to you guys later. Thank you again for having me.
Later.
Cheers, guys.
All right, so they're doing an event. That's a beautiful thing. They're trying to do something for the tour, which is great. The only thing I keep hearing, and Leo, we talk about it, and we'll get to it, maybe another show, but donor fatigue kicks in. Donor fatigue kicks in, and we see it happening every day. It's happening every day. So what we have to do is create, and exactly what they're doing, create experiences that work, that people enjoy, that racquetball likes, because less and less people are supporting associations and organizations and tours. They're now mostly, a lot of times I see supporting individuals. I mean, personally, I have sponsors or supporters that say, I support and sponsor you. It's not so much the tour, or it's you because I believe you're helping the sport. And in this case, I think Adam and Bobby are helping the sport. I mean, listen, we know they're super creative. We know they want to do a cool event, make it an experience. And I think they're going to be successful. I hope they are. And I know, I'll do what I can to help them out.
I don't want to get into donor fatigue. I know we've got some grumblings going on in the sport, and I just want to say that, the change has come. You've been a big part of that movement, and the change has come, and that's why tonight we've already had a lot of racquetball to talk about. We're not going to have enough time to talk about everything tonight. We have some topics of interest, but it's time. It's time. It's time for racquetball to start making that move to move the needle, and we move the needle. That's why I said tonight. That's why I want to make sure. Even I read Bradley's comment. It's the fans. It's the fans that pay the money, that go to the tournaments. It's the fans that tune in and watch. People always ask me, hey, why are you always shouting people's name out on the broadcast? Because those are the fans. Those are the people that tune in and watch. If none of those people tuned in and watch, I would be commentating a match to nobody. So, I know that sounds, very basic, but it's the truth. It's the fans. So I know that's a topic of discussion we're about to get into for the U.S. Open, because that has been the ultimate fan experience.
It definitely is, Leo, and well said. So let's take a quick commercial. 15 seconds. Then we're going to get right into the U.S. Open. We're going to show everybody at home probably what they haven't seen yet, which is the actual facilities and clubs and courts, and hopefully we can answer some of those questions. Don't move. 15 seconds. Jules has to tell you something. We exist. Racquetball is an amazing sport. It helps you obviously physically and mentally, but it helps you in life in general. And definitely say that you should all go play.
Play racquetball.
All right, there it is, Leo. So, all right, what do you think? I'm going to throw this at you. We have your amazing touch with the fans, and you have a great feel for them. Do we get right into the video and just show everybody the facilities, or do you want to kind of talk about it a little bit and go from there? Set the table. I think that's important. There's so many comments, right? We see on social media. It's amazing when I hear this one. Nobody pays attention to social media. Nobody looks at that. Nobody. It's only a couple of people. Whoever says that, you really are out of touch. You're out of touch. Our sport, and if you look at the demographics, actually Facebook, Leo, and you probably know better than I, because I know you've taken some classes and have done some extensive research on it. I think this actually is kind of the voice and where people are going for information. I know I always look forward to a year ahead of time, looking to see what Ganem and what you're doing with the U.S. Open. And, you're running the marketing team. And this year we'd be talking about how you shave the beard and the haircut tight, looking good, sharp and professional, by the way. What are your thoughts? What are your early thoughts before we get into looking at some of the facilities?
Look, let's face it. Everybody knew about the big announcement about Doug Ganem retiring from the U.S. Open. All right. This was Doug's dream. He tells the story, of him and Jim Heiser and some other selected people that sat around and said, can we do it? And they did it. Over the years, the U.S. Open got better and better and better. And unfortunately, we were hit with COVID. It's true. There's no denying that. So, even in the 25th anniversary, that was a huge celebration. Doug had so much stuff planned. Yes, I was part of the social media and the marketing team. I wouldn't say I was Doug's right-hand guy. I would say maybe I was his left-hand guy, because everything that Doug wanted to do came through a marketing or a social media plan. So we talked about stuff. He shared stuff, everything that he wanted to do, not speaking for Doug, I think Doug did at the U.S. Open. He made it the ultimate fan experience. I said it earlier, when he added the men's doubles, took it to another level. Just when you thought the U.S. Open couldn't get any better, look, let's face it. When Tiger Woods was at St. Andrews this past weekend, there was no way No way. Unless you were, I don't even know what kind of status you get to be standing next to Tiger as he comes across, signs a score. You don't get close to Tiger. At the U.S. Open, you can stand next to Rocky and Kane and Daniel and Sudsy, and Andreas and Andre and Paola. You can stand right next to them. You can ask them what they had for breakfast. You can't do that in other major sports. But Doug gave us the access. He gave us the gold boxes. He gave us a lot of stuff, all right? There's no denying that. We all know that. We experienced it. I went to every U.S. Open except for the first one. I missed the first one.
Damn you.
Everybody came back and said, unbelievable. Every pro is there. There's this portable court. It talks. It has speakers and a disco ball. And I'm like, I never missed another one. So we all know the history of the U.S. Open. And we can't go back. How many times have we talked about the history of the U.S. national singles in Houston? Okay. We can't go back. All we can do is go forward. But like you said tonight, we're going to express some opinions. We're going to talk about what we may or may not get. We're going to talk about something I know we're not going to get. We're not going to get the portable court. There's just no room for it.
Yeah.
So those are kind of my thoughts leading up into it. I know you have some videos you want to. I haven't even seen them. I visited both clubs. I've been there. I know them very well. So I know what the University of Minnesota looks like. We did the collegiates there. It was an amazing event. I love it. If you went to national singles in Houston, then tunnel vision that. That's going to give you a good flavor. Fridley, I love Lifetime, period. Anything that has the word Lifetime in front of it as far as health clubs go, I love it. So.
Yeah, I mean, Leo, that's well said. I think, again, I think that what we're doing is important because, again, a lot of the messages or the info we receive is just not enough communication or sometimes misleading. I had about half a dozen people contact me and say, hey, I heard there's going to be 2 portable courts. And I'm like, 2 portable courts? What are you talking about? And for the record, I nor Leo, neither one of us are USAR representatives. We're not on the board. We're not decision makers.
Not anymore.
We have plenty of friends, plenty of connections. I have friends at Lifetime Fitness Executives. I have friends at the Target Center that I've met over the years, obviously in and out of racquetball. So I just hope Leo and I can communicate to you all a lot of the questions we've been getting. That one blew my mind, the 2 portable courts. I said, no, we're not going to have 1
2 show courts. 2 show courts.
Yeah. That's inaccurate and it's misleading, quite frankly. Are there 2 courts with glass back wall and glass side wall? Yes. But that's not, to your point, what the U.S. Open was about. It was about the experience. That court was the heartbeat, and it's okay. It's okay. Here's what we need to talk about. USA Racquetball depends on this event. USA Racquetball needs this event.
Big time.
To kick ass.
It's a fundraiser for them.
It is the biggest source of revenue, as far as I know, for them for the year.
Outside of membership. Outside of their membership revenue. The membership revenue is the biggest. Everybody that pays their yearly.
Members we even have now, though. I mean, it's taken a hard hit.
It's still the biggest. But the U.S. Open, it's no secret. Come on, it's their biggest event. They own it. They own the name. They own the rights. Doug Ganem was paid to run the event for them.
Correct.
And rightly so. Doug took his commission, and then the USAR was given their commission, whatever you want to call it, whatever was left over. Anybody that runs tournaments. You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Doug got paid to run it. He was the executive director. He should be. I was there from the inception, Leo, when I was with Head and Doug was with Head. I watched him build this thing. He worked all year round. It was a 365-day, really, really was. I mean, whether it was contacting and flying in and out of Minneapolis. I mean, the guy's he's raised millions and millions of dollars, and he's done it over time. So I think it's important that the fans, the players understand, especially with the way the economy is and picking and choosing and what event do I go to? What can I? I was going to ask you, do you think that California event is going to affect some entries for the U.S. Open in Minneapolis? It might. I've spoken to a few people from Minneapolis and they're really, upset about the way it's been handled. They weren't even contacted, a few, and I won't say any names, that. That over the years have been a vital part from day one. So everybody's kind of like, what's going on? And
Yeah.
I think what we'll do is we're just going to help, give the info that we know for sure. And again, not speaking for USA Racquetball, but let's take a look at the video. So the first video we're going to look at, and this is credit to Skip Lacey out of Minneapolis. Thank you, Skip.
Lacey.
Lacey, I'm sorry, for this
Yeah.
video. This is the University of Minnesota, and I'm speaking now because once the video starts, we will not speak, Leo. We'll let the video play out so nobody will hear us. And you could just take a look at this. We could talk about it. We've both been there, talk about the facility. So here it is. Take a peek. This is the University of Minnesota. This will be the main club. This is where all the pro matches will be played, or at least the matches as the time goes. I'm not sure if maybe some will be at Fridley early on. So here's first University of Minnesota.
Roll.
Walking through the U of M racquetball courts, and currently there's COVID testing set up. No one's here, but there's 12 courts here, and most of them are like glass back walls, courts 1 through 10. And then you have the kind of the show courts here, courts 1 and 2. Now in between here, it's about 20 feet that I'm walking down here. 20 feet from the right side to the left side, 20 feet in between here. And then walking down here, you got the back of court 1 and the back of court 2. And then both of these courts 1 and 2, of course, have side viewing. And if you look at the side viewing here, you got the floor, and that's about 24 feet from the side wall to the concrete back wall, if you will. You got here for a tournament desk set up, and then again back here you've got, like I mentioned before here, about 24, 25 feet from the side wall of the glass court to the back wall here. Anyway, this is the U of M setup. Not sure where that some of the VIP tables like I had last year are going to be placed. And then again, from right side of the courts to the left side here, you got about 20 feet. All right, there you have it, U of M.
Let's take a look at a couple of pictures, Leo. This we can talk through. So that's the side. Well, obviously, that stuff won't be in there when we're there playing. But
most people don't know too that. Sorry to interrupt. Go ahead.
No. To Skip's point, it's. I mean, my question would be: are we going to have VIP tables? Do we even need them? Are we going to have gold boxes, or we just embrace, guys? It's different this year. Embrace it. Support us. We need your help. Come to the event. It's still called the U.S. Open. We'll still try to make it fun and whatnot. But obviously there are some concerns on that. Leo, before we get going, let's show Fridley, which we believe is the secondary club, and then we'll take it from there. How about that? And in the meantime, any questions or comments, throw them in the box and we'll get to them.
I just want to say, before you roll that video, just keep in mind that, video doesn't always do things justice. I've been there. You've been there. We're going to hit on that. And yes, while this video is going, put some questions in the chat because you guys are the ones that are going to go. I'm already going. I've already booked my room, but I just want you guys to know that it's not going to be what we had. Okay. Obviously by looking at that video there that Skip showed us, but you have to accommodate or fit what you can get in there. That's going to be the jigsaw puzzle. How is it going to work? People are already messaging and posting comments. What about the VIP seating? What about not VIP seating? What about general seating? Is it going to be every man for himself? Are you going to, like at Fullerton one year, they didn't have any of that. They only had a little bit of seating, and all that stuff's going to be out of those pictures. Most people don't know this, Suds, but the portable court was stored at the Lifetime downtown at Target Center. They put it in a court. It was stored in a court. All the extra furniture, some of the drapery, all the stuff that Doug owned over 26 years. You accumulate a lot of stuff. Just think about that. 26 years. That's a lot of stuff. Furniture, boards, supplies. I mean, there's just a lot of stuff. So
yeah, no,
that's. But,
yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, it's different. Let's check out Fridley. So, Leo, I think this will be the secondary club, or where the amateurs will be, depending on.
We hosted junior nationals there. It was also a secondary club for the U.S. Open. So this club right here is no stranger to the players that have played at the U.S. Open. But I'm glad we have something to show them. Yes.
There you go.
All right, so courts 11 and 12 here. Now, if you go down this hallway here, we're gonna run into courts 1 through 10. A lot of racquetball going on right now this morning, Saturday morning, around between 8:30 and 9. So once we round the corner, we're gonna see courts 1 through 10. And a bunch of racquetball players already playing this morning. Courts 1 through 10 from this side. And just show you, they're in really good shape. Ms. Elizabeth Denler practicing. Her dad, Ron. Say hello to Sudsy.
Hello, Sudsy.
Right, there's Stan the man. Bunch of guys playing here, and gals. And then courts 1 and 2 have ping pong tables, but they can be removed. And then over here would be like the tournament desk and stuff. This would be cleared out, a lot of room for tables and stuff. And these have been moved before in the past. Squash courts have been used for like storage of bags and equipment and stuff. There's 2 squash courts here that can be used for that. And there you have it. That is Lifetime Fridley. Here in Minnesota. All right, I'll take some pictures here for you too.
So yeah, Leo, again, thank you, Skip, for the great videos. It's important you're helping communicate to all the fans, all the members, because that's one of the issues. I guess it's just hasn't been communicated as well, maybe as some would like to or not to. Try to take away some speculation. Some of the obvious, here's some of the concerns. Robert Lyons, right? He says limited viewing, obviously, right?
Yep.
Yeah, we know that. But then look, you get Steve who says impressive place. So that's pretty cool, right? I mean, Fridley's a great club. We'll see. But again, back to the whole idea of the Open, as Veronica tells me, it's still the U.S. Open. It's the name of it.
Yep.
The concern is, are people going to, it costs a ton for international players to get there. So if they see it, is it still worth it to them? All this travel, what if they want to go to Vegas? What if they want to go to that California event? What if they want to go somewhere else and not Minneapolis? I think they'll still go, but I think it's vital for USAR to communicate to everybody what to expect rather than, oh, sorry. I actually think that we would all support and get on them and support them and say, let's do this. We'll figure it out. We got to go support this event. If there was, some transparency with all that.
There could be some plans in place, I mean, come on, let's face it. It's not where we were at. You're going to walk in and you're probably going to go, well, where's the portable court? Okay, well, where are we going to put it? So you got to find a place for it. All right. That portable court cannot sit in storage. That's not what it was built for. That's not what it was donated and paid for and put together for and used and planned for. All right. The portable court needs to be used. It's obvious. Okay. So there needs to be a place for it. Now we're going to the University of Minnesota. Who's to say that maybe next year Connor might have a big announcement and say, hey, guess what? I got the gymnasium here at the school. We're going to put the portable court up. You're going to walk just through campus and you're going to be able to watch some matches. That would be awesome. I don't know. I haven't done a site visit, We'll call it that. That's what they call it when they go and they look at a place and they see, what can we do here? Connor knows the facility. He knows what he's up against. You know, he had a blueprint, but it wasn't the same. You know, I don't want to diminish either side, okay? But we already know what we had, and now Connor has to work with what he's got, all right? And he's going to try to do the best that he has. Believe me, I know this. I've spoken to him. I worked for him, okay? He's trying. He is trying. And it's challenging times, and I'm not making excuses for him or anyone. Somebody in the comments, and I know it too. I've been to Fridley. It's tight. We did junior nationals there. It's tight. Like Steve Castleberry said, it's tight. Learn to love thy neighbor. It is. And it's what you're going to have to deal with. And hopefully Connor will recognize that, and he'll figure out, hey, we got to consider maybe going somewhere else. You know, maybe not Fridley. It's too tight. We got to go somewhere we can bring our portable court, you know, where we can do the things that we used to have. But it's going to be tough. I'm just telling you, I'm a realist. Couldn't go back to Houston to national days. You know, that's gone. Quit talking about it. Talk about it for fun, but don't bellyache about it. Don't get in Keep Racquetball Great or Make Racquetball Great or Racquetball Friends or all these racquetball groups and go, oh man, Houston. Oh, that was fun. Now nationals is what it is. We have to make it better. All right. Same thing with the U.S. Open. You know, Doug's not going to be there. The portable court's not going to be there. You're right, Sudsy. Are the pros going to want to go and want to have that opportunity to play on the show court against Kane, against Alvaro? That's some of those guys' dreams from these other countries. They want to come to the U.S. and they want to beat Kane and Rocky and you. You know, you still have a target on your back. People, when you enter the singles draw, they wanted to play you. They wanted to see if they had what it took to still beat. So we'll see. It'll be up to the players to see, and that's hopefully, you know, what we're seeing in the comments tonight.
Yeah, it's you know, Leo, I appreciate that. I think, and Veronica and I talk about it extensively. At the end of the day, if you love racquetball and we're part of this big racquetball family, we need to do everything we can to get there and support the event. You know, and we got to go. We got to go play. We got to go do it. It's still going to be, I think it is a grand slam. Last I heard, it's going to be equal prize money for the first time ever, which is interesting. And
that's a lot of money, Suds. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's 60. I believe it's 68,000 total. And I
72 on their website. They're advertising on the R2 Sports 72. Let me make sure. I don't want to misspeak.
No, go ahead. Yeah. I think it was 34 and 34, and then the IRT might be kicking in another chunk to make sure that the doubles is where it needs to be, which is cool. So again, yeah, it's going to be a nice prize money event.
What happened to the doubles though? Let's get into some of the things that we don't like.
Okay.
I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything at all, but
we'll let everybody else sugarcoat
it. First of all, on the front of the R2 Sports, it says $72,000 in prize money. That's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. All right. The second thing is the doubles doesn't have the prize money that it used to have, because the doubles was the show. Now, I know we don't have the show court, but the doubles could still be the show at the U.S. Open on those two sidewall glass courts. I don't disagree with that. I think that the doubles is still the show. Now, I get it. You know, equal pay, equal prize. There's discussion on that. But that's a lot of money, and then they took the money out of the doubles.
My understanding is that they shifted some money. Hey, you know what? Let's do this now. Open invite to Connor or anybody that is on the USAR board or executives that want to come on the show and have a discussion with Leo and I. Reach out to us. You know, it's simple. So instead of, like you said, Leo, if there's going to be bantering one way or the other, let's just all come to the table. Let's have a chat. Let's do it right here. Let's talk about it. People do pay attention to Facebook and social media. So it is a Grand Slam event. And I think that my understanding, Leo, is when they separated the money, they had to take some of it from doubles. But I believe, and again, maybe we can get an IRT rep, they're finding a way to put back the doubles money so that it will reflect equal to what it was in prize money. But again, to your point, which you said earlier, it is a Grand Slam event, as Todd Boss said. Todd's in there. I love getting Todd Boss fired up, man. he loves our sport, and he's doing everything he can to help it. But I tell him sometimes he's got it easy on the defense. He's one of the smartest guys I know. I'm like, we just got to come clean sometimes.
Look, listen, here's the doubles breakdown. I'm just trying to because we're transparent here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Last year at the US Open, it was 18,000 in the doubles. It dropped to 6. That's a big drop.
Yeah, hopefully the guys will still play. They'll still want to play.
That's $12,000. IRT is going to come up with $12,000.
I don't know. I really I don't know. Again, Todd, I know you're on the USAR board. If somebody would like to get on our show and have a chat with us on Beyond the Court, we would love it. We'll set it up and do that. Thank you, Jaime. I hope the update helps. I hope you're able to see what's going on also with the facilities. I don't know, Leo. I think there's a lot of question. I think that the women might be playing for more money this year because it's now equal. And I think it just, it was give and take. It had to happen. But the event overall, part of that, the allure for everybody, which Doug's dream was and vision was, right? And we said we're not going to talk about the past, but I think it's important to learn and to progress and be better moving forward in the future.
Yes.
Was that big show court of the professionals, but also now we have to take into account there was about 500-600 amateurs that would come to the event every year, and
ticket sales, that was huge. Ticket sales was huge.
Every day making decisions in the best interest of my family, but at the end of the day, we love racquetball. We got to go. We got to do the best we can to support that event. If I had 2 events on my plate and I can only afford to go to one or the other and I had to make a choice, well, then that's where the question may come in, knowing that, hey, it's not the glitz and glam of the 25 years of the U.S. Open. I mean, I remember, people ask me, they're like, what's your thought? And I'm like, my thought was it was the Super Bowl of racquetball. It was the World Series. It was the NBA Finals. And it just might not look like that this year. But it doesn't mean we shouldn't go.
Right. Money, I know the pros obviously play for money. I mean, you're right. You don't go to play on a show court. I know you and all the other top pros. It doesn't matter. As long as it's 20 by 40, you're there. You're going to play, put the money up. It might not have the same vibe, but it will have, the same competition, I think, whether you're playing in the 30 plus, the 40 Bs, the 30 As, you're competing for a U.S. Open gold medal. You're trying to get in the history books. You're going to go in there forever. Whether there was glitz and glamour and drapery and a VIP lounge, I'm going to miss that. We don't know. We need to get Connor on the show. Let's hear from him. He's the one that has to answer to the people. He's the one that has to answer to the members. Todd Boss too. Todd Boss does a great job. He's active on social media. He is one of the few board members that's on. Let's not forget, and it's no secret. Now, I'm not on that board anymore, but those board members sign confidentiality agreements. And they agree to certain regulations and things that they can and they shouldn't say on social media. So that way it doesn't sound like Todd speaking for the entire board. Todd is giving his opinion. Every board member should have an opinion. I think every board member should at least get on social media and have an opinion and say, I'm not speaking for USAR, but this is what I love about the US Open. This is what I don't like about the US Open. So, you guys know me. I've never really been one to hold back on my tongue. Look, I received an email from someone at the IRF, and I won't say who, but they sent me a private email and said, look, you don't even know why we couldn't stream the finals. So before you get on Facebook and you start complaining and belly aching about why we couldn't stream the finals, maybe you should understand the situation. And you know what? I didn't reply back to that email because I felt like I wasn't saying anything negative, and that's what that email was sent to me for. I wasn't being negative. I was being a fan. I have an opinion, and everyone should be able to have an opinion. So I think that USAR could do a better job. Like you say, tonight, you showed a couple of videos. They could do that. They could show the videos. They could give the fans the updates. They could send the emails. So, we can all be better.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, I think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to communicate and do the best we can to answer a lot of questions that we receive. You see Todd's response. I love it. He's getting fired up. There's a lot of information that we get, Leo. If I disclose some info from some people out of Minneapolis or executives or employees in certain areas of how this has been handled. Somebody dropped the ball, and like you said, we're allowed to have opinions, and it would be nice to see some accountability and responsibility. And again, relax, everyone, wherever you are. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm saying let's do better with the communication. Let's inform the fans, the member base, what to expect. Let's not sugarcoat it. Let's not. I still believe, Leo, our sport's the greatest sport in the world. And I do. I believe that if we had to come together and everybody knew how important this event was and really what it means to USA racquetball, because there's enough broken glass. We're already splintered. The associations and organizations are creating these mercenaries, talking about, look at Adam and Ian Bobby, what they're doing. They said they'll do it on their own. I took that approach a few years ago. I'm going to do what I think is best for the sport. I love the sport. It's my life. And I think it's important. And I feel an obligation to be able to talk to everybody. And it's crazy when you hear some people say, and I know you've heard it, oh, nobody pays attention to Facebook or social media. It's like, what? How out of touch can you be? So I think we can all do better. We can all be better, and we'll see what happens.
I see some comments in the chat, and I love the fans. I love you guys for keeping the chat going, and thanks for staying a little bit longer with us tonight. But it's very important that you guys are involved, that you guys know what's happening. I mean, there's some things that are confidential that people on the board can't talk about, and I think we are. When I was a board member, I tried to stay engaged. And, I do like that Todd Boss is in here. He is a board member. He can go back to these board meetings. I've sat in these board meetings. Don't forget, I was the executive vice president of USA Racquetball. I would go back to these board meetings and say, hey, guys, this is the temperature out there. I know you guys don't believe in it or believe it, but this is what's happening out there on social media. And it's important to hear from your customers and your fans. We're both. We're customers. We're fans. We're tournament players. So it's important to listen to those people. So I like that Todd comes in here. I know there's only so much that he can talk about, but he's right. People don't know how much it costs to take that portable court and to set it up. Look, there's a lot of numbers that are floating around, and I can just tell you, it is north of $600,000 to $700,000 to put the U.S. Open on. There are
as we know it historically. As
you know it, okay. When you're talking about everything. Like I said, we just talked about that with Bobby and them. You have an expense column over here on the left side, and it's long, and it's even longer for the U.S. Open. Flights aren't free, hotels aren't free, food isn't free, cups, plates, napkins, drapery, carpet, nothing is free. All right, you have to pay for things, and then everything from souvenirs to medals. You have to pay people. Not everybody's a volunteer. Some people volunteer because they can. Some people can't. So, and then you have your revenue side. Your revenue side are your sponsors, your title sponsors, your United Healthcare U.S. Open. All those names that you saw on the side there, Dick's, all those names. I'm not going to name them all. Ace Brand, Coors Light. There used to be a lot of them. And then you have ticket sales. And that's really all your revenue stream is. And then that's it. And you got to hope that thing balances out. And at the end, you got to make money. So that's the bottom line. We're not giving out, exact figures, but it's a lot. So it would be nice if we could all, go back to the way it was, but going forward, let's see what happens. As a fan, I'm going to expect the most too. When I walk into there, I want it to feel when you walked into the U.S. Open, Suds, right or wrong, when you walked in,
different.
You felt it.
Well, Leo, with all that said, then that's my question. Did USAR have ample time? Did they have enough time to build and see what was coming? Todd, I know your comment of, find us a $300,000 sponsor. And well, whose job is that, Leo? Whose responsibility is that? I guess is the question. Did they have enough time? And if not, where do we go? What do we do? What do we look at? Or do we continue to splinter off into these, little mercenary groups and hope that everything happens good and everything's great, you know, and not have an opinion, so to speak. Just be quiet.
Yeah, it's everybody's responsibility within that organization that is part of that U.S. Open after Doug Ganem left. You know, it could be
Or
the
before.
executive director.
What about before?
It could be the executive director. It could be Connor Shane. You know, you have to go back and look at the timeline and see, but that should have been priority number one. Whoever was hired in that position, priority number one is the U.S. Open. Priority number two are the 5 national championships that they put on. Priority number one is the U.S. Open. It's no secret. It's a fundraiser. At the end of when all the receipts and all the accounting was done, there was profit. Okay. And then that profit was shared between Doug and USAR, which is how it should be. Okay. Now, and that's no secret. That's the biggest money maker, revenue stream, fundraiser, whatever you want to call it. That's what USAR does. They put on these tournaments to help fundraise to keep the organization going. Any profit or revenue from the tournaments, they keep, and they help keep the association going daily, you know, how to keep the business going. So that was their biggest fundraiser. So that should have been number one on his plate. And it was, and I think it was, but look, he's at the World Games. He's having to put on national championships. Connor is having to take on the U.S. Open. Doug just had the U.S. Open. Doug didn't have to run 5 national championships in the World Games. So, you know, let's make sure we have the right context before going into this. And I'm not making any excuses for Connor. His plate is full. All right. You know, his 8-course meal, he hadn't even finished the 2nd course. All right. You got to catch up. So, you know, he's got a lot to work on. He's got a lot to do. I've run tournaments. You've run tournaments. Bobby Horn, you've run tournaments. There's people on this call tonight, Chad Bailey, Robert Lyons. You guys have run tournaments. You guys know exactly what it takes. I don't know if I could run the U.S. Open. I don't. It was challenging enough for me to run tournaments here in Texas with 250 to 300. I think my biggest tournament I ran about 325. That was tough for me. So, you know, Connor's got his hands full.
Yeah, there's no doubt. And again, this, you know, we're not pointing fingers. We're trying to shed some light and bring out some information and still say support the event, right? We know that. But, you know, Todd, let's be honest. We didn't lose Doug and the title sponsor at the same time. They kind of knew Doug was leaving. I knew Doug was leaving in 2016 or 17. And even then he said they have to start doing something to continue this event as we see it. Now, when United Healthcare's title sponsorship ran out, that's different. But we all knew Doug was leaving. Leo, I was part of a small group in 2017 that entertained the idea of taking over the U.S. Open when Doug left.
Yeah.
Now, again, it would still be owned, as you know, by USAR. It's not about that. And Doug told me, he said, you're going to have to shadow me for years. He's like, 2-3 years, you got to shadow me to figure this out. And, you know, it is what it is. I guess it's good. We can move on. I think we'll pull we'll rip the Band-Aid off, so to speak, at this event. Whoever comes, great. If they don't come, they don't have to. But we need to support this event for USA Racquetball. You know, it's a huge, they depend on the money. If you want to go, great. If you can't go, great. You know, it's just important to communicate it. But Leo, one more time, I think we have to show that video of the University of Minnesota. Is that okay? And I'm going to try to unmute us and see if we can talk through it. So tell me.
Let me know, because I don't forget, it's September the 28th through October the 2nd. Put it on your calendar and look, and here's the most important thing. All right. This is the most important thing right now. Whether you're going to go or whether you're not going to go. All right. Even if you don't go, it's only going to cost you $5. It's not even going to cost you that in the end if you cancel. So you go online, you go to the USA Racquetball website and go find the links to the R2 Sports. It's just like finding another tournament to sign up on. It's very easy. Go to the hotel, click on the group housing, and go reserve your hotel. All right. And trust me, you can do it right now. I already did mine weeks ago. They're running out at the Graduate, which is the closest hotel. It's right across the street. Okay. Let me give you a little bit of context here. University is 0.2 miles. I don't even know how that registers on Google, but it's right across the street. And right in front of that is a Starbucks. And right in front of that is the light rail. So you'll be able to fly into Minneapolis, get on the light rail, and I think it's not the green, it's the blue on this one, the blue line. The green line was the one I used to take, I think, into the Target Center. And you take the light rail straight into the Graduate, and you get out and you check in and you walk right across the street to the University of Minnesota. That's the closest place. The queen double beds, not very many left. I think the last time I looked, there was maybe, I have it pulled up, 7 double beds. Now, queen beds. Now, if you like sleeping in a smaller bed, there's about 40 double beds. Those beds are a little bit smaller at the Graduate, but the hotel is the most important thing. It only costs $5. You put it on your credit card and you reserve your room for the whole time, and then that's it. I think you get a 48-hour cancellation. So if you cancel within 48 hours, you get your $5 back. That's an awesome deal. I love it. Group housing, it's easy. I've used it. I've used it for the last 2 national championships that I went to. And then the second thing is you got to enter, and then you got to find a flight. Start looking for flights. I already booked my flight. Flights are not cheap. Let's be honest. Everything got more expensive. Jet fuel's expensive. Airlines are experiencing understaffing, so it's going to be a challenge to fly.
I've been traveling a bunch lately, Leo. It's nonstop brutal. It's been rough.
They're getting canceled. They're getting delayed. So get your flight. Go get your flight and get your hotel and be done with it. And then be done with it. And then that way, between now and October, you'll be set. Hopefully, who knows? US Air will come out with some announcements. We're going to try to get Connor on the show. Maybe he can answer a lot of these questions, and he can answer to the fans and let them know, are there going to be limited VIP seatings? I think there would be a need for that. There are people that enjoy sitting courtside up on the glass. You can put some stanchions, you can get some drapery, you can do it.
Yeah, now, just make it sexy. My understanding is, by the way, which this might blow your mind, but the first official walkthrough of the venue is this week coming. Mm-hmm. So I guess they're going to have to plan quick.
And the other thing too is, here's the other thing, being in the club business for so long, is you got fire code. You got to have so much space. You got some restrictions within the club that you'll have to deal with. So I'm hoping that they do everything that they can, because it will be different. Let's be honest. It's going to be different. You're going to a university now. There's not going to be any alcohol there. All right. Not going to be any alcohol. You're not going to be going up into the lounge and having a couple of beers and sitting back with your buddy and chit chatting. All right. That's going to change. It's going to change that vibe, that part of that vibe. And we'll have to find out if that's a good or a bad thing.
We'll see. I mean, listen, let's go. Let's support it. I know I'm going to be there. Is it time to look at new venues? It's always about sponsorships and getting money. We get that. But again, it's important to look at the past and where we are and then where we're going. And we got to do everything we can to really keep our sport alive, Leo. At this point, it's not just, it's survival and thrival. Survival and thrival. You like that? As I see Ellie online, it's good to see him. Maybe he's getting out of bed. He's going over a little sickness. So yeah, I mean, that's it. Leo, I'm going to unmute us. Here's one last look at the University of Minnesota, the main club where the pro events would be. And they are not using the Target Center downtown Minneapolis. Take a look, Leo. Let's see if we can talk over it. I'm going to unmute us.
Walking through the U of M racquetball courts. And currently there's COVID testing set up. No one's here, but there's 12 courts here. And most of them are like glass back walls, courts 1 through 10. And then you have the kind of the show courts here, courts 1 and 2. Now in between here, it's about 20 feet that I'm walking down here, 20 feet from the right side to the left side, 20 feet in between here. And then walking down here, you got the back of court 1 and the back of court 2. And then both of these courts 1 and 2, of course, have side viewing. And if you look at the side viewing here, you got the floor, and that's about 24 feet from the side wall to the concrete back wall, if you will. You got here for a tournament desk set up, and then again back here you've got, like I mentioned before here, about 24, 25 feet from the side wall of the glass court to the back wall here. Anyway, this is the U of M setup. Not sure where that some of the VIP tables, like I had last year, are going to be placed.
You know, it reminds me of the Texas A&M in College Station we were just at, Leo, but much smaller, like much tighter. Texas A&M seemed like it was much bigger with more room. Is that accurate to say?
I think so. You know, Texas A&M had the big rock climbing wall when you walked in, and it was more spacious. You know, it will be a challenge. I like that we could see the stanchions to give people more, give them a better idea of what they're going to be dealing with when you go to the U.S. Open. So I'm glad that we showed that, because, you know, I've talked to some people that say, hey, what's it like? And, you know, I'm trying to, you know, paint them a picture. And now at least they can go back and they can watch this video and see these pictures. It's going to be a little tight. And come on, it's no secret. It's not going to be like we were at the Target Center. It's just going to be like, look, it's going to be like being at the Target Center without the portable court, because when you didn't have a ticket and you didn't watch the pros, you were watching on the side courts. And those side courts at that Lifetime, which is what we were looking at, was the same setup. The courts were back to back. There may have been a little bit more room, more than that 20 feet at the Target Center between those courts that were on the one row there that had the back-to-back back wall glass. So it will be just a little bit different setup, but there will be no portable court. That's no secret. There will be
many entries? Yeah, there's no portable court. There's no 2 portable courts or 2. There's 2 racquetball courts with sidewall. You know, Leo, how many entries were there last year? Todd, if you're online, what was it? 600, 700?
I want to say it was north of 700. I know, but there's a few sprinkled in there that are people that don't play in the tournament. You know, that are VIPs.
I know
get the
all
gold
about
boxes.
That, yeah.
Well, everybody has to be in the tournament for communication, and when you're buying a gold box, you have to go online and buy the gold box. So you might be a gold box holder, but you might not be playing in the tournament.
Correct. Yeah, and that happens a lot. What do you expect this year, Leo? You've run plenty of tournaments. You're a big part of the U.S. Open. Quite frankly, you know, I think we could go run an organization right now and run a U.S. Open if need be. You know, if the crap hit the fan and they called us and said, you guys take it over, we could run it as is. What do you think? How many?
Well, look, you know, it's hard to emulate, duplicate. I mean, you know, next to the U.S. Open, the Longhorn Open is one of the biggest tournaments in the country. It's no secret the Longhorn Open sells out in less than hours. It crashes R2. I would put the Longhorn and the U.S. Open at the top of the list as far as the mecca of tournaments within the U.S. And you know, the Longhorn takes in about, I think I don't know if Soli has a cap or not, but Soli takes in, you know, anywhere between 420 to 430, 440, somewhere in that number. Some people are throwing in some numbers at 700. I do know that it's over 700 at the U.S. Open. So it's hard. It's hard to emulate that. It's hard to duplicate that. You know, Doug built that thing over 25 years. The Longhorn Open has been built over years. People can't understand why every year they only do it once a year. Doug does the U.S. Open once a year. Soli does the Longhorn Open once a year. People can't figure out why these tournaments will sell out.
You didn't answer my question. What are you guessing? What's your guesstimate for number of entry? I'll give you mine after you give me yours.
You know, I think I'm hoping that this first year back after Doug's retirement and the new location and everything, I'd like to see at least 400 to 450 players at the U.S. Open. We won't get 700. I just don't think we'll get it. I think we're a small community. I think some people go for the glitz and the glamour. You're not going to have the VIP tables that we know about. I would like to see 450 at the U.S. Open. That would make me feel happy.
I'd like to see 1,000. I think we're going to see 300 to 400 max.
Yeah.
And hey, let's just do it. Let's get there. Let's do the best we can. That's what we got to do. Ken Fife with a little comment here for us, Leo. He said, replying to Todd Boss, I've learned more from your comments than ever. It seems like a communication problem. Question, why not use Target Center? Did that have to do with the lack of funds? I never saw a fundraiser. Why not? So my understanding on that was in the negotiations, Leo, they just couldn't come to an agreement. Target Center wanted X. USAR can do Y. Just couldn't make it happen. So here we are. So maybe this is an opportunity. Maybe this is an opportunity to look at new venues, which I'm sure Connor's doing. Connor, like you said, he's gotten handed our sport that he's not super familiar with. He doesn't know our culture. He doesn't know the community, the people, our language yet, but he is learning it. I've spoken to him many times. He's learning. He definitely likes it. He's enjoying it. So I think with more time, he'll be able to, maybe pull it off somewhere else. Maybe that's where this is going.
Yeah, we'll see. We still have a ways to go, but it will creep up on us pretty quick. So that's why I want to remind everybody that wants to go, look, regardless of what happens, I'm going. I missed the first one. I still kick myself, in the back of my pants for missing the first one, and I won't miss this one. I had mixed feelings about going. I worked for Doug for pretty much every one of those years. For the first few years, I was just a player, a little floater, doing my own little blogs on the side. And then, Doug noticed me and said, hey, I want to put you in as an intern. And then, it went from there. So I'm not going to miss this US Open. I'm going to be there regardless. I don't care what comes out of any Facebook groups or, anybody that's disappointed about the portable court not being there. I'm going to be there. And Suds, I know you're going to be there. I know you wouldn't miss it because that's why we're going. Because if you can't go, hopefully we can help you be the eyes and the ears of the event. Look, when I was part of that social media team on Instagram stories, I put out 100 stories a day. And the only reason I figured out that I could do that was because you can save your stories on Instagram into your highlights, which after 24 hours, they won't disappear. They'll go into a highlights folder. So the first year at the US Open, which was 5 years ago, when they started doing the highlights, I said, well, that's great because now my stuff doesn't have to disappear. I can save it. So I was saving them day one. And then it said, you've reached 100 stories, the limit. So from that year and every year forward, I figured that I would post 100 stories every day because that way we could bring the US Open to the fans. So with that saying, yes, I'm going. I got my hotel. I got my flight. I highly recommend that you do the same thing. And then that way you can see firsthand what it's all about.
Leo, to echo you, Veronica and I are going. She's going to be playing. Izzy.
Bringing the kids? You bringing the kids?
I think we might have to. We might have no choice. Can we get some babysitters, please? We need some.
I will.
We'll be accepting. I'll give you the kids and be like, you have at it. You're a good uncle.
I'll put Jules on the iPad and let her go nuts.
Oh, she will. As far as am I playing Izzy, don't know right now. What I'm working on is August 19th and 20th. Kane and I were doing a little mini experience, Leo, in New Orleans. Al Schaff is hosting us. It's going to be cool. It's going to be a Friday night, Saturday. There's still a few spots available. That'll be a lot of fun. So if you're interested in grabbing a spot to an experience with Kane and I, that will be in New Orleans, August 19th and 20th. So it'll be fun. Leo, that's it for tonight. I mean, we can go on, and you and I, we're lucky. We're fortunate that we have such insight, but we're also unfortunate, I think, that we have such insight sometimes. Sometimes there's things I wish we didn't know or I didn't know, and I was just green to it. But again, yeah, I'll be there. I love the sport. I'll support that event no matter what, and we'll see what happens. So, Leo, first off, let's thank you, Andres, so much, Acuña, for joining us tonight. Champ, you deserved it. Bobby Horn, Adam and Nia, you weren't there, but I know you and Bobby are a team. Leo, thank you for once again co-hosting with me, and I'm sure we'll be doing this again very soon, very shortly, because there's a lot to talk about all the time. Leo, thank you so much. Your wisdom, your knowledge, your info, your energy, I really appreciate it. I do. It's tough to do. When Ellie took a back seat, I was like, man, do I want to keep going? You know, we were doing it every Sunday, and you and I have talked about doing it every Sunday, and maybe we'll get it back to that again. But you know, I appreciate it. Thanks again for always stepping up. You've never said no to me. How about that? You've never said no, so I appreciate that, and Racquetball appreciates you too. Of course, all my sponsors, you guys, love you. Frank Hotels, Performance Chemicals, you know, God, Carlos Cabrera, Sal and DiPercanti, you guys are the best. You keep me going. You give me the ability to stay in the sport full time. I do a lot of other things to provide for my family, but I'm not ready to walk away yet. And with that said, Veronica, I love you to death. None of this is possible without you. And, you know, your motivation and your support, you're the one that got me back in the sport. So thank you for doing that. Scotty Mack, I don't know if you're watching, but congrats, buddy. You were one of the originators, of course, of Beyond the Court. And you're always a big part of this. So thank you. And, of course, all you fans, Leo, we can't say it enough. The fans, the players, the members, this is all about you. I'm going to continue to do everything I can, and Leo with me, and together and separately together, to do everything we can to make sure we energize the sport. We make sure we bring out the positive. We don't highlight the negative, but we talk about things that maybe are difficult conversations. And I think it's important. And if nobody else wants to do that, and Leo and I, we're okay with doing that, we're going to do that. And hopefully it sheds some light, because it's not always, you know, a chocolate sundae or vanilla sundae with whipped cream and cherry and sprinkles on top, as much as we love those. I think it's important that we learn and we discuss it and we get it out there. It's not about finger pointing. It's not about bashing everybody all the time. You know, what are you doing? What can you do? What can you do to help? That's what you have to ask yourself. Some people help in many, many different ways. Some people help and you don't even know who they are. So thank you. Thank you to all of you players, fans, the whole sport. We love you. We are all racquetball, indoor and outdoor. Great event out there, the 3-wall ball. We'll be talking more about the Vegas event, Leo, as we get closer to that with Mike Coulter. Of course, Heiser's event in Colorado that's coming next year, the World Championships, singles and doubles. Again, Leo, thank you. Thank you to everybody. Share the feed, get it out there. Have an amazing night, and we'll see you soon. All right?
I
Have
hope
a great
so.
night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.